Good morning, everyone. So I decided to have this conversation with you all because so much is happening in the world, and most of the time people don't have all the information, and they fall into all kinds of situations, unpalatable situations. You know, and there's nothing more rewarding as hearing from the horse's mouth. It's one thing for someone to tell you a story that he heard or was told, and then it's an altogether different thing for someone to tell you a story that he or she lived. Now, the story I'm telling you is a story I lived. How best to have an understanding and to have walked in that shoe. So I got a visa to Qatar. From what was written in that visa, they said it's a working visa, 2 years work visa, and I've been employed as an admin manager. And I was excited. Even if I didn't really have money, I had to pull strings to get the funds I needed to get my tickets and my PTA, that's my personal traveling allowance, and then flew down to Qatar in Doha. Little did I know that I was in for a shocker. On the day I got here, which was the 1st of August 2023, someone was supposed to pick me at the airport, and that person never showed up. But God is always faithful, because on my way from Nigeria, Ethiopian Air had some technical issues which caused some delays. We ended up spending 3 days in Addis Ababa. There I met a lady who was coming from Uganda and was also en route to Doha. We got talking. She said she had a job already and her boss will be picking her at the airport. So when we got to the airport, I had to wait for my luggages because my luggages left Addis Ababa and got to Doha on the 27th of September. Sorry, on the 27th of July. That was the day I left Nigeria. But as we got to Doha eventually on the 1st of August, I had to wait to get my luggages. She was also waiting to get, the Uganda lady was also waiting to get her luggages. Finally, when we got our stuffs, the person who was to pick her was at the airport already to pick her. But the person who was to pick me was a no-show. Matter of fact, I kept calling him and then he turned off his phone. So basically, I was stranded at the airport in a new country at 3 a.m. in the morning. But Fortunately, the lady told her boss about me and they gave me a lift. It took me to a place owned by a Kenyan lady, and I was to pay and stay there. So I paid and started staying there. For the most part, it was okay, I was okay. But truthfully, from that very first night, I started having panic attack. Because in a way, I knew something was not right. It was at the break of the day around 7 on that same day I arrived. I got the chance to speak to the person who was supposed to assist me. And then he told me I had to wait for 2 weeks to do my medical. And that just set me off. 2 weeks. What will I be doing for 2 weeks? I came here to work. I was told as soon as I get here, I can start working. That's what I was told. I was actually in for a shocker. I had to wait. I just sleep around, wake up. The truth is, it was terrible, but I had to deal with it like that was my new reality. So I had to find a way around it or lose my mind completely. I was stressed out. I was upset. I was afraid. Mostly I was afraid. But I just kept praying. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait for the 2 weeks before I went for my medical. But I went for the first medical. When it was time for me to get my result, they said my result was inconclusive. I went again a second time. And the distance from where I am staying to that medical center is really far. It takes 27 real from where I am to that place and 27 from there back. If you're lucky, 25 real, but nothing less than 25 real. I made that trip 4 times because I had to go for that medical repeatedly 4 times before my result finally came out. In between, I had gone for my fingerprints, thankfully, and I started waiting to get my ID card. The first passport I took, they said I packed my hair and my hair was too big. I had to go and do another passport. And eventually, I got my ID card. Today is the 2nd of November, and I'm still not working. I have sent my CV and given my CV by hand in more than 36 places as I speak to you now. But I'm still trusting God for a job. On a daily basis, people come into this country. Every single day. At some point, I had to go to Nigeria embassy and they told me, you be patient. In fact, they just tell you what they think you want to hear and dismiss you, send you on your way. And they don't do anything to help you. They put me in a WhatsApp group of Nigerians living in Qatar. And there I see all kinds of things. I'm an inactive member, like I'm just there observing. But I read people's stories on how they come in here There's nothing to do. They don't have where to sleep because they've been scammed. They were told they will come here and work. They get here, there's no job. Nobody is picking them from the airport. The person who is supposed to assist them with accommodation is nowhere to be found. They can't reach the person. The person has blocked them. All kinds of inhuman things that Nigerians do. So I took it upon myself to save other people the heartache that I had to go through. Please, I know that the government of Nigeria is not even helping matters, but please, if you're not sure, don't venture. Be sure before you venture. I can say my case is a very rare one because God has helped me in ways I can't even be able to tell you guys right now. Basically, it's the help of God that I am counting on. It's the help of God that has sustained me from the very moment I stepped foot in this country to this moment. That I have a roof over my head. I'm not on the streets. Some people come in here, they have nowhere to sleep. They sleep on rooftops in the scorching heat of this country. All their weathers are to the extreme. When it's hot, it's extremely hot. When it's cold, it's extremely cold. They live in that reality until help finds them. So please, if you're not sure of what they are telling you, please don't venture. Because you're so far away from home. You're so far away from anything familiar. You're just in a place like in the middle of nowhere where you don't know anybody. People look like human beings, but some of them, they have lost their humanity. They don't have the fear of God. They have no conscience. They treat people so poorly, and they are still able to sleep at night. So please, be absolutely sure. The issue is that jobs are hard. But I know that there's nothing God cannot do. Now, because of the desperation of how bad the economy is back in Nigeria, people are just desperate. Any window to get out of Nigeria. I found myself in that same situation. But would you rather come here and sleep on rooftops with nothing to eat, with so much regret in your heart? Please ask questions. Ask questions. Let them give you the chance to talk to whoever your sponsor is even before you get here, because some people come in here, the sponsors, they don't know the sponsors. They can't find the sponsors. They start putting it on the WhatsApp group. Whoever knows this sponsor should please let us know. This person came into Qatar for how many weeks now, has not been able to see the sponsor, has been here for 2 months, no ID card. Because without your ID card, you're here illegally. And if you come in here after 3 months, you start paying tax to the government if you don't have your ID card. And anywhere the police finds you, they pick you up and you're gone. So please ask questions. Like I said, I was very fortunate. I was fortunate. The contact I was given, even if the one who was supposed to pick me from the airport refused to pick me, the one who was supposed to guide me in doing my medical fingerprints and eventually get my ID card was basically a God sent. He's an angel. He's still my friend. He's a good friend. In fact, he calls me his sister. So I would say that the hand of God has been with me from the very beginning up until this point. So please ask questions. Ask questions. Be sure of what you're being told. Be sure of what you're being told. Sometimes I wonder when people do this kind of terrible thing, how do they sleep at night? But like I said, people have lost their humanity. They no longer have this milk of human sympathy. They don't. And the Gulf countries, they are not like Europe. They are not as welcoming as other European countries. So, my advice is, if you're sure of somebody who can help you to go somewhere else, apart from a Gulf country, I think that's better for you. The reason I'm doing this is so that other people don't suffer what I had to suffer. And I'm still suffering. Like I said, I'm not working yet. I got here, started going to the malls. I tell people that I make hair. Some of them collect my contact number and reach out to me when they want to make their hair. That's how I've been surviving. But I don't have an actual job yet. This is my 3rd month here. Today is exactly 3 months since I came into this country. So if not for the hand of God, I don't know what my story would be right now. I have a roof over my head. Thankfully. You know. So please, this is something I've been meaning to do. But for some reason, I've been a little reluctant. But I woke up this morning and I told myself that I need to do this. So please, ask the questions that are important. Get satisfactory answers. Don't be too desperate. Because the truth is, even in countries like Canada and the US, except you have somebody who can really help you. I know a friend who also went to Canada. She was there for like 2 months. She had to return to Nigeria, to attend to some family, stuff. But until she left Canada, she had not gotten a job. You understand? So when people tell you that you're coming to Qatar, you start working, a job is already waiting for you there. That's not true. They are not being honest with you. They are not being honest with you. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, please. Let's not be fooled. Let's not be too desperate to the point where we allow people to treat us as if we are stupid. I just pray pray sincerely that this helps somebody, because that's the reason I'm doing this, to help someone. As I'm talking to you, people still come into this country every single day from Nigeria, to the best of my knowledge, because of that WhatsApp group I belong to. I still see people coming in here every day. So please, be very careful. Be very careful. Very careful. Ask the right questions. Like I said, the money you will spend to come in here, if you can find the right person, you can spend it to get a Schengen visa and go to a European country. There they are more humane, they are more receptive. Here, this place is quite a hostile environment. I will not lie. It's quite a hostile environment, more especially for dark-skinned people, for people who are black. Some of our Nigerian brothers are not even helping matters. They come in here and they begin to do all kinds of criminal activities, which is very sad and disappointing. So that even you, who has not done anything wrong, who have no intention of doing anything wrong, you become a culprit. So please, my honest advice is that if you can find your way anywhere else other than Qatar, better for you. I pray that God helps us and keep us up and grant our heart's desire above all. Thank you. Until I see you all again. Bye.